Welcome, guys. Let's start this presentation off with a nice little hockey play.
Kadri trying to drive to the net, and he was pounded by Jordan. I mean, Kadri didn't like him much. Kadri's got the puck. His head is down. Giordano just steps up. I mean, to me, that's a good hockey hit.
I think it's safe to say that no one wants to ever get caught like Kadri does by Giordano, but how do we prevent that from happening? Should Kadri do a better job skating with his head up? I mean, yeah, maybe. But I think Kadri tries to cut to the middle in Giordano, and he's unsuccessful of executing his plan because he has a very weak foundation with his stride. I think if Kadri has a better foundation, then he's able to make this cut happen. The stronger our foundation is, the better we can change our direction on the ice, and the more power we can get from each and every stride when we skate. No different than building a house or a massive condo building. The bigger the foundation, the bigger and more stable the structure will be. So who am I and how can I help? My name is Travis Martel, and I've been blessed to have played professional hockey for 9 seasons. While playing university hockey, I earned my degree in exercise science and became a certified strength and conditioning specialist. I've been training hockey players for 12 years now. And throughout this presentation, you'll learn the first steps in developing a powerful stride to prevent yourself, your kids, or the players you work with from ending up like Kadri does. Let's look at the Kadri clip again and see how having a strong foundation would have helped him and prevented himself from getting hit like he does. As you can see here, Kadri tries to plant his skate and cut to the middle. But since he's unable to stop his momentum with control, he gets caught up a second longer, and then Giordano is able to catch him with a big hit. Kadri was able to stop quicker and get to his end range faster. He'd be able to load that left skate better, and then he'd be able to push off and cut to the middle with more power. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to do so, and he gets crushed. What is the first step to getting more powerful? Is it absolute strength? So how much weight we can lift? Is it the speed at which we lift that weight? Is it stability? As you can see, there's a few equations up on the board. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with them. So I'm going to make this as simple as possible. To figure out how much power we're able to produce, we need to know what our number for work is. This is represented by W. And to figure that out, we need to measure force times distance. Before we can do that, we need to know how much, we need to know what our force is, and that is mass times acceleration. In the photo, Ray Williams has a lot of mass on the bar, and the speed at which he lifts this ridiculous amount of weight, i.e. the mass, is the acceleration. I don't know the exact numbers, but we'll say Ray is squatting 800 pounds. Pretty sure this is underestimated. And let's say he moves that weight at 0.5 meters per second. Using the formula, F equals M times A, force times mass, force equals mass times acceleration, we can calculate that Ray produces 400 newtons of force. We compare that to another athlete who lifts only 350 pounds, but lifts it at 1.2 meters per second, they would have produced more force at 420 newtons. And since force is an important measure of power, the more force someone can produce means they're also able to produce more power. So now that we know this, I think we can safely say that being the strongest doesn't always produce the most amount of power. It's the balance between strength and speed that's the most important. But before we can start to think about lifting weights and gaining strength, we need to work on our stability. And I don't mean standing on a Swiss ball. If we look at a photo of one of the fastest skaters in the NHL, we can see that he is nicely stacked over his non-striding leg. While the leg that is striding out is producing all the power, so he can skate extremely fast, it's the non-striding leg that allows all this power to be produced. If McDavid isn't stacked properly, it doesn't matter how much power he's able to push into the ice because he'd be very inefficient with his movement. So if we look at his right leg, we can see his toe, his knee, hip through shoulder is pretty much stacked one over top of the other, and then the opposite leg is striding out. Comparing the two photos, they don't look that much alike. Ray's feet are flared out on an angle, as you can see in the red circle, and his knees are well outside his hips and shoulders. While this position is stable and does allow him to squat a lot of weight, it wouldn't help hockey players skate that fast. Hockey players need a different level of stability and a different position than weightlifters. This is why I don't believe squatting, especially really heavy, help us produce more power on the ice. You can look at McDavid. Once again, he's stacked over top of each other. That is the position we need to get strong at. So let's watch McDavid. A few clips of him doing his thing to start to figure out how we can be as powerful as him.
His opportunities, he drives the net. McDavid backhand, upstairs, scores!
A lackadaisical change. And there's Connor McDavid. You get back to
McDavid's going to take off. They're still short-handed. McDavid shoots.
a drive by Connor McDavid. You could just sense it here. As soon as he poked that puck, he looks up.
When I stop the clip here, you can see McDavid loads his right leg and gets into his end position extremely fast, then quickly gets back across to his other leg and continues down the outside lane, giving himself more time and space to get a shot off. This clip is very similar to the Kadri clip, where he tries to fake to the outside and cut to the inside. McDavid fakes to the inside and cuts to the outside. McDavid does a much better job of this, and so Vlasic has to bite and then gives him that time and space so McDavid can go down the wing. So for him to be as powerful with his skating, he's able to load and turn on the brakes as fast as possible so he can get going in the opposite direction. So for us to be as powerful as McDavid, we need to work on that exact same thing. Here's a clip of one of my athletes demonstrating what an inefficient stride looks like and what we should be focusing on to become a more powerful skater.
Travis Martel here with Martel Elite Fitness. Today we're going to talk about the first steps to developing a powerful stride. Tyson's going to get down in the skating stance here. He's going to stride out to the right. You're going to notice here, as he strides out, he has a very difficult time stabilizing on this leg. So bring the leg back in, stride out again. There's too much movement through this hip, which is going to prevent him from applying more force to that ice to help him be a faster skater. So what we're going to work on is he's going to get down into his hockey stance, athletic position. He's going to work on being nice and stable through this hip, preventing it from shifting over as he strides out. Good. Stride out again. Keeping this hip nice and stable will allow him to put more force into that ice with each and every stride.
Leg. The more efficient he is with his striding, so he can produce more power into that ice, and that push into the ice will actually help push him forward, so he'll be able to propel himself up that ice better. If he ends up with too much lateral movement of that left leg, he ends up being inefficient, and he's going to waste most of his energy to going side to side rather than him going up the ice. Because as you stride, your stabilizing leg will be moving, and your striding leg will have a hard time pushing off the ice to create any type of speed for yourself. No different than if you're in a canoe and you shoot a cannon. Well, the force of the cannon is going to push the canoe back. As you can see in the photo, while the cannonball itself is trying to go forward, it's not going to make it a far distance. So I'm going to give you an exercise that's going to help fix this issue and develop that good stability strength. Remember, this is the first step in developing a powerful stride. You have to build this foundation first before you can put anything on top of it.
We were on the ice, we were working on our stride with Tyson here, and as he would stride out, this leg would travel with him and he'd come back. So every time I stride at this shift happens, I'm not very efficient with my skating, so it won't be as powerful on the ice. We have to have a solid base to push off of. So as I drive back underneath, I'm not moving. My stride is propelling me forward each and every time. So we're gonna get Tyson down into his hockey stance. He's gonna stride out with his left leg. There's a little bit of a shift. He's gonna come back and stride out one more time. come back. So we're trying to prevent this. So first thing we're going to do is just get the athlete aware of that shift. So get down, Tyson. Now focus on keeping this hip nice and stable. Good. Come back. Go again. So it's still, there's still a little movement there. So what we'll do is we'll get Tyson up against the wall here. He'll get his left hip touching the wall and his left knee touching the wall, and then he'll stride out, focusing on trying to push into that wall. Good, so we'll do a few repetitions here. So you have the feedback from the wall. You want to keep in contact with the wall the entire time. We're starting to teach our body that this non-striding leg needs to be nice and stable. Once that looks pretty good, then we're going to get the band around the ankles. We're going to get off the wall and we're going to try it again. The band will give us a little bit of resistance. So now as I band out, it's going to try and pull me. So I really have to fight against that. So he's doing a pretty good job keeping this left leg nice and stable. If he was having troubles with it, and he was to stride out and continue to have that little shift, we'd get him back up against the wall. So we'll regress back to the wall, but we'll keep the band on. So he'll lean into that wall, stride out, come back. So the band will help build that good glute strength to create a strong foundation. So as I stride off, this leg does not move. I can produce more power to the ice, and I'll increase the speed of my stride and the speed of my skating. So I would do 3 sets, 10 reps on each. Start without the band first, work on your stride, see where you're at. If you notice you're shifting, get against a wall, some type of object that you can lean into. Once that's good, then get the band on. Same thing if you notice a little bit of a shift, get back to the wall, work on that strength, and progress from there.
As you saw in the video, the exercise is very simple. However, the better you can perform this exercise, the faster you'll be on the ice. In the video, I give you a progression and regression. So start without the band, open floor. If you're having issues, get up against the wall. If that's good, add the band, back to open floor. If you're having issues, back up against the wall. You need to remember, it's not what you do, it's how well you do it. We need to perform the simple exercises, the basic exercises extremely well, because we'll get more from that than if we tried to perform advanced exercises with less than optimal form. I'd like to thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me either through Instagram or by email. I'm here to help you guys reach the next level.